Pipin. Pipin was the quiet, dependable powerhouse of the original Band of the Hawk. A gentle giant, he rarely spoke, but was fiercely protective of his comrades, especially Rickert. On the battlefield, he was a monster, able to crush armored skulls with a single swing of his massive mace. He and Guts were the power duo of the Band of the Hawk, tearing through enemies like nothing. During the eclipse, Pipin met a horrific end. Ever the protector, he threw himself into the chaos to save Casca, smashing an apostle's head to give her a chance to escape. But as apostles closed in, he stood his ground. When Guts saw him, something was horribly wrong. Pippin's body had been hollowed out, his back ripped open, and he was propped up like a grotesque puppet by tentacles in the shadows. Before Guts could react, his lifeless body was torn in two by a slug-like apostle and discarded like trash. His death was one of the most gut-wrenching moments in the series. Bazuso. Bazuso, the Grey Knight, was known for his fearsome reputation as the 30-man slayer. Wielding a massive poleaxe, he cut down mercenaries with ease, confident no one could take him down. Then, a young, ambitious Guts stepped up to claim the bounty on his head. Bazuso initially dismissed Guts, thinking he could crush the rookie in seconds. But as the fight dragged on, Bazuso realized Guts wasn't just any swordsman. Guts broke Bazuso's weapon and delivered a devastating slash to his waist, bringing him to his knees. In a last-ditch plea, Bazuso begged for Guts to wait, but Guts showed no hesitation. He drove his massive sword straight down, splitting Bazuso's head in half. The force was so brutal that one of his eyes popped out. His death wasn't just gruesome. It was humiliating. The once feared warrior was slain by a 15-year-old, cementing Guts as a rising force of destruction. Gaston. Gaston was Guts' loyal second-in-command in the Band of the Hawk's Raiders unit. Hardworking, optimistic, and always keeping morale high, he dreamed of a peaceful future, hoping to open a clothing shop in Wyndham. After the Battle of Doldry, he decided to leave the battlefield behind. But when the Band of the Hawk was exiled, he couldn't abandon them and rejoined without hesitation. When Guts returned, Gaston was overjoyed, still calling him captain. With Griffith broken and the band falling apart, he and the Raiders swore loyalty to Guts. But then came the eclipse. Amid the slaughter, Guts desperately searched for survivors. Gaston, missing an arm and barely alive, stumbled toward him. He asked how things had gone so horribly wrong, admitting he always had a bad feeling. Then, before Guts could respond, a monstrous apostle grabbed Gaston and bit his head off. His body was thrown aside like garbage. His dream of a simple life was crushed in the cruelest way possible. Wyald. Wyald was a straight-up monster, the leader of the Black Dog Knights, a band of criminals known for their atrocities. He thrived on chaos and violence, leaving behind a trail of blood wherever he went. When the Band of the Hawk rescued Griffith, Wyald's squad was sent to hunt them down. On the way, they massacred an entire farm, slaughtering men and assaulting women. When Wyald finally caught up to the Hawks, he revealed his true apostle form, a horrifying beast. He battled Guts in a brutal fight, taking his first serious wound in 100 years. Left for dead, Wyald faked his demise, killed his guards, and crawled to the Hawks' camp. In desperation, he grabbed Griffith and tried to trigger the eclipse early, hoping to escape the vortex of souls. But then, Nosferatu Zod appeared. Wyald panicked, realizing he had no chance. Zod impaled him on his horns, making it clear Griffith's behelit wasn't meant for Wyald's schemes. As Wyald begged for mercy, Zod tore open his stomach. Wyald's body reverted to the frail old man he used to be before being dragged into the abyss. His death was a perfect mix of physical agony, humiliation, and karmic justice. Hannah. Hannah was one of the women captured during the troll invasion of Enoch Village. The trolls abducted her and others, using them as breeding vessels for their twisted reproduction cycle. As Farnese and Casca were captured, they were brought into the trolls' den, where they witnessed unimaginable horrors. Hannah was barely alive, crawling toward them, begging for help. Moments later, her stomach grotesquely swelled, and she screamed in agony. The truth sank in. She was about to give birth to baby trolls. Her stomach burst open, releasing the grotesque creatures that had been gestating inside her. It was one of the most disturbing scenes in Berserk, a brutal reminder of the world's cruelty. The nightmare ended when Guts stormed in and slaughtered the trolls, but the damage had already been done.